Straight ahead on 12 News, more problems emerge from all the recent flooding. The pesky pests we need to worry about now. Then in Health Check, what's seen as a barrier to good health.
We have some of the greatest health disparities in the nation.
And what one local farmers market is doing to help bridge the gap. But first, construction hazards. What Robbinsdale police say drivers are doing that shouldn't be happening. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. You likely have been seeing a lot of orange construction signs lately, especially in Robbinsdale, where the Lake Drive County Road 9 project is going on. However, the road closures seem to be causing confusion and some drivers to break the law. Here's 12 News reporter Carissa Wyant.
As the saying goes, in Minnesota, there are only two seasons, winter and road construction.
A lot of folks are they're so confused with the traffic patterns that have changed now because of the construction that they're trying to get through where they shouldn't.
Here at Lake Drive in Robbinsdale, a big road construction project has shuttered this main thoroughfare.
They're going around posted signs, and we've had several cars actually had to get towed because they drive into a dirty area or a wet, muddy area and they get stuck.
Neighbors have been taking photos of drivers stuck in the mud, being towed and ticketed by police.
It's a $128 fine to drive around the sign, and then another $10 if the workers are present.
Driving through construction sites not only poses a danger to drivers.
You don't know if there's going to be a big hole there, and your car's going to get swallowed.
It can be hazardous for construction crews.
Officials say the road barriers are there for a reason. They remind commuters to slow down and take an alternate route, realizing that the work they're doing on this construction site will ultimately benefit everyone. In Robbinsdale, Carissa Wyant, 12 News.
Robbinsdale police say they have ticketed hundreds of drivers around the Lake Drive County Road 9 construction project since it started this spring. It's expected to last through 2015. Governor Dayton is giving thanks to a company that plans to expand in Brooklyn Park. That thank you will also include financial incentives for creating jobs. Wurth Adams Nut and Bolt was awarded $590,000 to move its headquarters to Brooklyn Park. To receive the money, Wurth would need to create at least 20 new jobs within 3 years at its future site near Highways 610 and 169. The jobs would pay an average of $21 an hour. Wurth Adams was previously headquartered in Maple Grove, but decided to move due to a need for more space. Many new laws take effect today. One of them impacts cell phone purchases. Starting today, Minnesota dealers of used phones must keep detailed records of every acquisition. Sellers also must sign a statement that says the phone is not stolen. A big part of the legislation takes effect in 2015. It requires all smartphones bought or sold in Minnesota to have the so-called kill switch technology. Minnesota is the first state in the nation to require the device disabling technology as a way to deter theft. Residents got a chance to tell park officials which ideas they like best when it comes to possible improvements for parks in Robbinsdale and Golden Valley. It's part of a Three Rivers Parks effort to bring improvements to inner ring suburbs. The focus is on 3 connecting parks, Sohaki and the Mary Hills and Rice Lake nature areas. One park planner says people like the wild nature of the parks and they're being told not to overdevelop them. Residents are interested in improving water quality, adding a vegetation buffer along the proposed light rail route, and creating a new trail.
A continuous paved trail through the park and then connecting up near the top back over to Wurth Parkway and down in the southern part connecting to Bassett Creek Regional Trail and then over to Wurth Parkway. And it creates a really neat paved loop experience through sort of the classic park setting of Wurth and then the wild setting of Sohaki.
After meeting with the cities involved, Three Rivers hopes to start putting the top-ranked ideas into place beginning next spring. Well, there's one thing park goers do not want to see, and that's black flies. The pesky pests are coming out in droves, and reporter Sonia Goen shows us why they are so bothersome this year.
Minnesotans love to be outdoors during the summer. But there's a flying pest that's trying to ruin all the fun.
They've been kind of bad a little bit.
And we're not talking about mosquitoes.
I had
like maybe 20 around my head.
I've never really heard about the black flies or anything like that.
I got like 6,600 on my legs.
Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but Sam and J.J. Anderson have seen a lot of black flies this year, and they're not the only one. The black dots you see on the boat are black flies, also known as biting gnats.
They're just flying around your face everywhere.
You usually get bumps on the back of your head.
One burrowed straight up my nose.
You can't see the gnats because your hair is covering your head.
These suckers are small, but they deliver a big bite.
I get craters and stuff. One right here. I pick my scab off.
The biting gnats use their blade-like mouth parts to cut through the skin and feed on blood.
And I have a ton of them on my back.
But the worst part seems to be the afterbite itch.
They really itch a lot, but you shouldn't itch them because the bumps can get really bigger and then they can get infected.
Black flies love running water like the Mississippi River. That's where they lay their eggs. Our recent rain is helping to increase the population.
They feel horrible.
We feel like
We're just biting.
they're just crazy.
You know, I think when you go near trees or wooded, that's when you see them, but I don't know, you just go through it fast when you're walk or run, and it's fine.
Carla Berkler has also had to swat a few biting gnats while on her daily walk through French Park.
You know, it's just one of those things that you walk, you do what you want to do and you roll with it.
She says she's not letting the pest stop her from enjoying the best days of summer.
I think that's such a minor thing compared with the lakes and fun things we can do in Minnesota.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
It is very hard to prevent black flies from biting. You can protect your skin by wearing long sleeves and pants, and the pest is attracted to dark colors, so they tell us that light-colored clothing works the best. Well, another big crowd is gathering in Plymouth for the 42nd Music in Plymouth event tonight. It is tradition for early birds to reserve their seats by putting blankets and chairs in place hours before the entertainment begins. An estimated 13,000 to 14,000 people are expected in or near the Hildy Performance Center.
I was out here at 6:30. Usually my mom puts down the tarp, but I thought it would be good to pitch in this year. There was a line out here already and everybody was getting set up, and then they blew the whistle at 7. Everybody just started running.
We usually sit farther back, but this year we decided to do the real thing, get up close and get a spot.
In case of rain, there will be entertainment and fireworks at the same location next Tuesday night, but they would do it then without the Minnesota Orchestra. If needed, the city will publish scheduling changes on social media and the city's website. Well, social media is buzzing because of World Cup fever, especially because of the big U.S. soccer match against Belgium. At Clatta's Irish Pub in Maple Grove, soccer fans were ready for the action. So was Clatta staff, which has seen a spike in business because of the World Cup.
Business has been great. It's really picked up since the World Cup has started. You get a lot of people come in to watch all the matches.
And our country is paying attention to U.S. soccer like never before. The U.S. averaged more than 18 million viewers on ESPN and Spanish-language Univision for its 3 first-round games. Coming up next in Health Check, the barrier that some say is hurting our health. This one pertains to our diet. Then later in sports, highlights from play in South Hennepin League American Legion Baseball. First, a cool start to the week, but a muggy warm-up is on the horizon for the 4th of July weekend. If you plan to hit the road over the 4th of July holiday, be prepared to pay more at the pump. Drivers will be paying the highest gas prices in 6 years. At the Shell station in New Hope, we found prices at $3.59. The average is $3.57, a quarter more per gallon than a year ago. According to AAA, gas prices typically decline in June, but the instability in Iraq is blamed for a price bump this year. Out on the water, Hennepin County expects a busy boating weekend. Many lakes, like Lake Minnetonka, still have no wake restrictions for boaters. But this year, because of the unusually high water levels, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office is warning about floating debris. They also say they've had to shift resources to water patrol because of record high lake levels.
The golden rule is if you're going to be out in the water, whether it's out on a boat or you're going to be out swimming, wear a life jacket. They're really simple to use, simple to wear, and they save lives.
Fortunately, this year there have been 0 drownings in Hennepin County. Last year there were 8. Being healthy generally comes down to an ability to make good choices about diet and exercise, but sometimes other factors come into play. And in today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland looks at some of the barriers to healthy living and what some people are doing to break down those barriers.
Summertime in Minnesota.
It's fun, you get to come out, enjoy the weather.
Is when farmers markets sprout up.
It's interesting to see a lot of people around here and sell a lot of vegetables.
Chong Vang has a healthy assortment of vegetables for sale picked straight from her garden.
This is cilantro. This is just like Chinese cabbage, and that's a rhubarb.
And the prices, she says they can't be beat.
I guarantee because this is only for $1. So, $1 per bundle.
She says she deliberately keeps her prices low so that families with financial constraints can afford to eat healthy.
I grew up with a poor family, and I know how people want to feed the family, and I understand that.
According to officials from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota,
we have some of the greatest health disparities in the nation.
They'd like more people to have Vang's mindset. The survey commissioned by the insurance company found that having limited access to sidewalks, trails, and affordable produce were some of the biggest barriers people cited to living a healthy lifestyle.
So personal responsibility is key, and it's extremely important. But if you don't have those options and those opportunities to make healthy choices, then really, how can we expect you to make them?
That's one reason why at the Brooklyn Park Farmers Market,
You just take your card and slide it right there.
people on government assistance can now use EBT cards to buy fresh produce from 7 different vendors.
It's important because we're providing cheap food for people who do need cheap food.
Thank you.
Vang is one of those vendors, and she says she's happy that she can help.
Well, everything's going really good, so it's blessing.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Other barriers to healthy living found in the Blue Cross survey included not feeling safe riding a bike where they live and convenience of fast food. For more information about the survey, you can go to our website at 12.tv. Coming up, a firefighting tradition kept alive in Brooklyn Park. But first in sports, work on a spectacular new baseball field in Robbinsdale is just about completed. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back. Well, this is one Little League field that's going to be a whole lot better than the one that you and I probably played on. I mean, I know mine had ruts and no grass where there should be grass. You know?
No ruts on this youth baseball field at all. It is a beautiful complex and be fun to see the kids play on it soon. A Field of Dreams is nearing completion in Robbinsdale. A few weeks back, we showed you the construction work beginning at Lee Park, aided by funding from Major League Baseball's All-Star Legacy Program and the Twins. The field will have a grand opening next week. Here's Jay Wilcox with more.
Thanks, John. And the new field itself is just about ready to go. A fantastic facility here with help from Major League Baseball and the Minnesota Twins, their legacy project. And Wally Langfellow from the Armstrong Cooper Youth Baseball Association joins us. And Wally, it's got to be an exciting thing to see how this progress has been made and this field is just about ready to go.
Yeah, you think about what was here before this came. And it was, you know, a typical park where they played Little League Baseball, and there used to be a big oak tree sitting out in the middle of center field. And what we have today, it's amazing. It's almost $1 million project, and kids of all ages. It's not just going to be Little League. It's going to be Little Leaguers, potentially some girls fast-pitch softball, 13-year-old baseball, which kind of is an intermediate-sized field, and then the big field for Babe Ruth-age kids as well, 13, 14, and 15-year-olds.
How much is this going to do for baseball in the area, would you say, and potentially softball also?
Well, I think there's no question that it helps. I mean, the weather factor is the big thing here because this thing drains very quickly. I'm told by the project manager 500 inches per hour of water it can take. So even this year's rain won't make this unplayable. It drains well. We'll be able to play on it in the spring early on, whereas with fields with snow and ice and the melting that just doesn't happen sometimes in the conditions you can't play on.
Of course, the All-Star Game's coming up, and this project tied into that, so they've got a big grand opening coming up, it sounds like, here for this field, too.
Yeah, July 10th, 5 o'clock. I know there's going to be some dignitaries. I don't want to throw out any names because they're just rumors at this point, but Major League Baseball will have some dignitaries here. Fox, of course, carries the game, so they'll be here. So it's going to be an exciting night to have this game christened, or have this field christened prior to the All-Star Game, and it works in conjunction with Whiz-Bang Days. It's the first day of Robbinsdale's Whiz-Bang Day, so it all works together.
John, we're going to send it back to you so Wally and I can play some ball out here.
All right, sounds good, Jay. Again, the official ribbon cutting for the field is next Thursday, July 10th. Landscaping around the field is taking place now. The regular season in American Legion Baseball has just over 2 weeks to go before the district playoffs kick in. Hopkins faced Edina in a South Hennepin League game Monday. Bottom of the 5th inning, tied at 3 in this one. Dan Sullivan's 2-out bases loaded single scores Stephen Kalina and Jack Hunzelman and gives Edina a 5-3 lead. Hopkins tries to rally in the top of the 7th. Logan Ottman rips a shot to the gap that scores Jack Cherry. It's a 2-out RBI double for Ottman. But the rally ends there. John Libby strikes out Alex Moore to end the game. 6-4 Edina is the final. Edina is one of the teams preparing for some holiday week American Legion Baseball in the annual Delano 4th of July tournament. Wayzata will play in the second quarterfinal round game on Wednesday. Wayzata plays Minneapolis Southwest at 6 o'clock. Delano and Waconia meet in the opening game at 3 o'clock Wednesday. And then Thursday, Edina faces Rockford at 3, followed by Hutchinson against St. Louis Park. Consolation and championship round semifinals are scheduled for Friday, with the tournament wrapping up Saturday at Zitzloff Field in Central Park in Delano. 9th annual tournament, Mike, kind of a fun tournament to go to get the City Festival going on and a great American Legion baseball.
Great for summers.
Yes,
Get outside and watch some baseball. All right. Still ahead, a storied tradition kept alive in Brooklyn Park. The significance of this new bell when we come back. Bells have a traditional significance with fire departments, and that tradition will live on in Brooklyn Park. In the past, bells were used to signal fire alarms or the beginning of a work shift. Some were even mounted on fire trucks. Well, now Brooklyn Park plans to use a new donated bell to honor firefighters who have worked with the department for 5 years or more.
We are finalizing the historical review in order to make certain that we capture all the names of those who have served 5 or more years, so that this column can be engraved with those names and be a permanent reminder of those who have made this fire department into what it is today.
Brooklyn Park will go back at least 50 years to collect firefighter names. Money for the bell was donated in part by the family of a retired firefighter who died. And the wooden base was created by the son of a fire captain who is an expert woodworker, as you can see.
Nice to do.
It's very nice looking, isn't it? That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
Community Corner is next. We'll see you tomorrow starting at 4.